Such a chaotic scene here. I want you to zoom past me and take a look at just how badly this house is burned. You can still see timbers burned down to nothing but cinders and toys still scattered around the front yard. Really a devastating story. Your heart just breaks for this family. Mom and dad, they went to sleep with 5 kids, and when they woke up, 2 were gone. I want you to walk with me and take a look at what we're seeing here, just to give you some indication of how widespread this scene is. You can see exactly where the skid marks here start. It's a few hundred feet. First responders with the Chesaning Police Department were devastated to find the victim in this crash was actually one of their own, a firefighter with neighboring Albee Township. I did just confirm with the director of the Saginaw County Commission on Aging. She says that once they got wind of the allegations, they launched their own internal investigation, and Moffett reportedly resigned before that investigation could be completed. Now, guys, just to give you an idea of how deep the rabbit hole goes in this case, once investigators started combing through the victim's financial records, they found tens of thousands of dollars in missing money. They also found a property, and that she had even allegedly given herself power of attorney. You see a spotter plane just circling the area, making sure those flames haven't spread and just kind of checking on the situation out here. The U.S. Forest Service tells me that they will be working well into the night, if not all night, trying to contain this fire. Looking at the devastation all around them, guys, a lot of people were asking themselves the question, how long would it take this town to move on from those May floods? This building alone, I'm told, had around 7.5 feet of water in it. But we're nearly a year into the cleanup at this point, and all around downtown Sanford, signs of progress are evident. Hello and welcome to beautiful Mount Pleasant in the scorching heat. We're here in the Soaring Eagle parking lot. Al, I'm going to need myself one of those personal fans. I don't know how you feel about that. We're at Conley's, which is a pretty familiar stopping point if you're going up and down 75, literally in the center of the action. The snack food aisle, got to have those snacks for the road. Just wanted to give you a look at this. Sweet Corvette, obviously. If you had just watched these Corvettes roll down the street, you would have thought that that was the whole show. I didn't bother counting. Somebody did, luckily. They told me there are more than 40 of them on this tour, so the Corvette obviously very well represented. And Flint, the birthplace of the Corvette. We had to mention that, so of course we're here with the Flint Corvette Club. Somebody put this guy in charge, at least here today.
My crew.
Yeah, nominated by his crew. If you take a look here, look at the charred landscape. Those are all houses back there, which were certainly threatened by this fire. And if you zoom past me over here, you can see exactly how close it got to this one in particular. It looks like they barely managed to save that pool. The flames scorching their way through this vacant field, stopping just short of torching this suburban Saginaw neighborhood Sunday afternoon. One of dozens sparked amid a wave of extremely dry conditions statewide this weekend, and firefighters have their hands full.
It's coming together as a pretty bad picture right now, so it is significant, it is dangerous right now.
Paul Rogers works with the Department of Natural Resources Fire Suppression Division.
Almost all the yard grasses are dead, so it's going to carry right through your yard where you would never think that it would. That's a very big concern.
On Facebook, the Lapeer Fire Department calling the last 24 hours, quote, a day that does not need to be repeated, unquote, responding to a house fire and 2 grass fires, one of which scorched more than 30 acres.
The filters were muddy, dark brown.
So it's sort of effectively like a color gradient. You got really dark brown. This is the it's sort of where we are now.
Yeah.
If you didn't know any better, you might think the filter on the left came from Diane Fletcher's coffee maker.
If I hadn't had a filter on it, and how many people don't have filters on there?
Diane first noticed the liquid pouring from her McClellan Street taps no longer looked much like water around a decade back. The dark brown ooze staring back at her, the first red flag, and certainly not the last.
I had to carry them big old 50-gallon jugs of water in the house with my mom and dad, trying to get them to not drink that water. They can go in through the filter.
Diane's water is since turned back to mostly clear, but its foul odor still makes the Northside native think twice about taking a drink. So when she learned of the $640 million water settlement payout, Diane expected at least enough to foot the bill to replace her aging plumbing. But after crunching the numbers, she was in for a rude awakening.
Residents may, if you qualify, get $1,000 out of $641.25 million.
Per the terms of the settlement, most of the money going to Flint kids facing a lifetime of lead-related health problems. It's what happens to another giant chunk of it that has some feeling sticker shock. This is just one of the new wells that they're working on. There are many, many wells that they're working on. This one is for the fire department, and it's because they couldn't get any water. Let that sink in for a second. The fire department couldn't get any water, and those are exactly the kind of stakes they're up against here.
I'm looking around and going, where do you get your water from? He said, well, we used to get it from that lake.
But Secord Lake's water levels are now so low, fire crews don't even have equipment capable of reaching that far down the shoreline. Gladwin County Commissioner Joel Vernier recalls the rest of an eye-opening conversation with fire officials.
Well, where are you getting water from? We got to drive to Gladwin at the fire hall there, fill up, and then drive back. That's about an hour trip. When you're dealing with a fire in time, you're going to lose either property or lives.
So what about the fire hydrants? Check out what we found at the end of Norway in White Star. A dry pipe pulling in nothing but air. The difference a year can make. From a destination in its own right, Sanford, now a little more than a magnet for Gawker traffic on US 10, en route to greener pastures.
People have to look at it because they're still in disbelief. People are just trying to find some water.
Red Oak Restaurant won't open its doors this Memorial Day. Co-owner Melissa Ayotte gave her staff the day off.